Hi, I'm Vicky, the mayor's daughter. If you would like to see how we created this look using the Sigma and Angela Bright palette, Lord, stay tuned. And yes, let's get into today's video. We're going to use the Sigma and Angela Bright palette. I have had this for quite some time and I have not dipped the first brush into it. Let me show you the color story and then we will get into it. Start with a big fluffy brush and go into this shade called Bear. This is one of the brushes that I've had for far too long, and have to fix my primer because it creased while I was sitting here looking at stuff. And we're just taking this and kind of packing it all over the lid. And it is so pretty. One thing that I like about Sigma a whole lot is that they are not constantly releasing new things. Their products are good enough to where they don't have to do that because you're going to go back and rebuy pretty much whatever you use. The only thing that I have not repurchased is their skin tint. Palettes and stuff like that all day long. Love the quality. You can always stand by what they do. Into cold brew right here. We're going to work that into the outer corner. I just made a split-second change of mind because I was going to put this in the crease, and then I decided, oh no, we're going to do that on the outer corner. Did you ever do that? A depth brush and go into the shade Peachy. We're going to take it right there for a crease / transition shade. Did I do this kind of backwards? Yeah. Have you met me? I'm going to take an alter ego brush and go into 2015 just because it's purple. And purple is one of my favorite colors. And we're going to just take that in the inner corner. Okay, we went in with a big fluffy brush into basic. And I think this is a Beauty Bay brush. I'm not sure. It's either a Beauty Bay or an alter ego. And although it gets a lot of use, it is not one of my favorites. It's an excellent blending brush, but it's just, the handle is thicker. I take, it's Champagne Problem. And go into the crease. Not the crease, my inner eye. And out. And what I got on my heart this morning is kind of something that I am so guilty of. And I'm thankful that I have people around me that will say, hey, stop that. I am gullible to a fault. I love to help people. So much so that a lot of times I have to be careful or I get taken advantage of. And even then, I don't want to stop helping them. And while helping people is a good thing, there comes a point in time to where you have to let people figure it out on their own. You have to let them do for themselves. We're going to put on some primer. You have to let them, whatever problem they're having, they have to learn how to figure it out. Otherwise, they will never, a lot of times what people are dealing with is consequences of their own behavior. And if you are constantly stepping in and fixing it, they don't ever have to face those consequences. So therefore, what you think you're helping, you're really not. Okay, we have done all of the things and we're doing foundation, and I wanted to continue my thought while we do that. All too often, I am like the first one to want to help people, to open my wallet, to say, here, I'll do this. And I've learned in doing so, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't help people, not by any stretch of the imagination. I am very much, I just stuck that brush in my eye, I'm very much a believer in helping whenever and however you can. What I'm not, and there are different caveats to this, I do not believe that that we should allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. Now, I lost my foundation sitting right here. To elaborate on that a little bit, I mean that if I am knowingly, because I know some people feel like that if they give somebody money or something like that, that they've done what they should do. Yes and no. Yes, if you feel like you should help somebody in a monetary way and you do it, yes, you've done what you should do. It's sitting right in front of me and I can't find it. Lord. Using the Natasha Denona. I can't remember the shade and I can't see it. Anyway. So, while I do believe in helping people, absolutely 100%, I also believe in using wisdom when we do. There are times that you'll feel led to give that person holding the sign money. And then there'll be times that especially here in Lexington, okay? We know that there are a group of people who are holding signs that are not in need. We know. The city tried to take care of it. The Supreme Court shot down what they put in place to try to keep people from giving money to people who really didn't need it, who are just taking their hard-earned money tax-free. Going under my eyes with the Natasha Denona eye concealer. And that's just where I'm going to go today because we're going to kind of keep this pretty chill. So, I recently encountered a situation that I quickly jumped into action with. I don't regret it. I won't regret it. But I also, because of past situations, have learned to reach out to people who are my tribe and say, hey, this is what's going on. I need you to guide me because I'm feeling some kind of way about this. I'm afraid this might be happening. I'm afraid this might be happening. So in the process, one of the people that I reached out to gave me some really sound advice, and the reference was made back to the man that was sitting by the pool that told Jesus that every time the waters were troubled, that he couldn't get someone to help him get into the water so he could be healed. And it was like, you know what? That resonated so much with me. And it was like, it made so much sense with me because we all, for the most part, can figure it out. And we all have to figure it out. We all have to take care of our business. And as I said earlier in this, Not being mean, not being cruel, not being any malicious or anything like that. In many cases, people are dealing with the consequences of their own behavior. And if we really expect their behavior to change or want their behavior to change, then we can't fix their problems. And that was what my takeaway from what this person was telling me, part of the takeaway, was to just kind of step back and let people figure it out. We're going to go with these two. And in doing that, you find out, number one, what you're working with. And that sounds way uglier than I mean for it to. There are some people who are just out there to let someone else fix their life as long as someone else will do it. Again, I'm not saying don't help people. Never take that came out of my mouth. I'm saying use some wisdom and discernment. And we're just going to blend that in. Because here's what happens. The people that need help themselves. They want to get to a point to where they can do it themselves. And you will see them taking steps to do that. Again, I'm not being ugly. I'm giving you some life lessons. Some that I am still struggling to learn. So we have to use wisdom. And wisdom means that even if you help that person in one way, you're not taking over fixing their life. They have got to help themselves. And, and they've got to be able to tap into resources that are available to them, not just different people's wallets. Is this making sense to anybody? Because I hope that it is. We are in hard times right now. Everybody. I am not opposed to helping somebody at all. And over the course of my life, I've helped a lot of somebody's. Doesn't mean that I'm done. Because all of the things that I've done are in the past. There are things that need helped today. So while I am very much aware of that, I'm also working on learning that there's a thing called boundaries that comes into play. And I'm just taking the foundation brush and going back over and blending a little bit more. And you need to have them. You need to have healthy boundaries in place, because if you don't, something that was said to me recently whenever I was seeking wisdom on a situation, takers will continue to take if givers don't have boundaries. So the point of this is, don't be stingy. If you can help somebody, help them with wisdom and discernment. By that, if you see a pattern, if you see, and there's a difference, okay? There's a difference between an excuse and an excuse and an excuse and an excuse versus, okay, this happened, I need help. And then I need help with this. Transparency. If you're somebody in need, transparency is a big thing that I think needs to happen. My personal opinion. If you can't be transparent when you're in need, you can't be transparent when you're not in need. Just my thought. I'm going to use my benefit brow. See, here's where we circle back to that thought about the man who was sitting by the gate at Bethesda. He was sitting by the gate. He made no attempt to move himself closer to the water. He waited for the water to get troubled and then waited for help then, when the situation was immediate. Here's what we don't do. When you have a need, you don't sit there and wait until it becomes so dire that you make irrational decisions and choices, that you're so desperate that, and I'm guilty of that. So whenever there's a situation going on and you need help, reach out sooner than later to trusted people. And the trusted people, who are the ones that get reached out to, use discernment and wisdom. Like, the reason why I said what I said is sometimes the person that you encounter that is in need may truly be in need. And I was speaking of consequences. Those of us who have struggled with issues, addictions, or whatever in their past, I have got a hair stuck on somewhere and I can't get a hold of it. There are things that we got to, you got to pay the piper. No matter how you live your life, whatever you do, you got to pay the piper. There's always a consequence for anything and everything that you do. So if you take away their consequences of things that they did while they were in addiction, or situations that they shouldn't have been in, what have you, then the chances of them going right back to it are greater. People succeed a lot better when they have accountability. And I'm speaking about this not just because of the situation that I recently found myself in, but because of me. I talk about accountability a whole lot. In the last, I don't know, this is what, April? In the last so many months, other than step study and stuff like that, my accountability has not been where it should be. So I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts with you today and saying, we have all got to be aware. And the Bible says not to grow weary in doing good. Okay? The reason why we grow weary, one of the reasons, is because we wear ourselves out on people who won't help themselves. Take that for whatever you need from that. Take it, pass it on back. Y'all have a good day. This is the finished look using the Angela Bright and Sigma palette. We will see you in the next video because, as you can hear, Ella needs to go out. See ya. Bye.